The 14th Amendment says all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. So it's actually protected in the 14th Amendment, and a president cannot just unilaterally change the Constitution. So to actually change this amendment, we would need 2/3 of a vote from both houses of Congress, and then afterwards, 3/4 of the states would need to ratify or approve the amendment to the US Constitution. I don't see that happening. I mean, this is purely speculative, but either way, Trump cannot, by executive order, just change the Constitution of the United States. With that said, one part of the phrasing of the 14th Amendment might allow a little wiggle room, and that's the part that says, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That's going to come down to whether or not the courts agree that people who are born in the United States or physically present in the United States are subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. I think it's pretty clear that they are, but that could be some part of the Constitution that's subject to interpretation. It might even be an issue for the Supreme Court to ultimately decide. But I think the chances of the Supreme Court determining that people physically born in the confines of the United States, on US soil, within the territorial limits of the United States, to say that they are not US citizens would almost certainly require an amendment to the US Constitution. There is a caveat that I want to mention. So in the past, there have been times when the government has made it harder for people who are born inside the United States to register their births. Historically, people who are born to immigrant parents near the Mexico-Texas or Mexico-Arizona border are subject to heightened scrutiny because sometimes they are born not in a hospital, not in any government building, but via midwife birth. And I've seen this happen where the birth certificate basically just says that they were born in a house in Texas via midwife, someone who helped deliver the baby. And then thereafter they go and they register the birth like 2 weeks later at a hospital or with the state of Texas. These types of births are subject to heightened scrutiny. I've seen people who have this type of birth certificate later on apply for their US passport, and they have to jump through all of these hoops to prove that they were actually born in the United States. The government asks for additional records. Interestingly, the last time I did it, the US government asked for evidence that they went to school in the United States, that they have medical records from the United States, and basically none of that proves where you were actually born. It doesn't prove whether you were born on the Mexico side of the border or the US side of the border. But my conclusion was that the US government just wanted to see that you were American enough. Because what else could they be going for when they're requesting evidence that you attended school in the United States and saw US healthcare providers long after you were born? What do I think will actually happen? I think Trump will try to issue an executive order saying that merely being born in the United States isn't enough. You need to show that some of your parents have immigration status. But I think that's going to get shut down. I don't think that'll survive constitutional muster. I think the courts will not agree that he has the power to do that. But it's interesting to see what will actually happen. All right, guys, that's it. Just a short video on this topic. If you're interested in family-based immigration topics, I try to put out several videos a week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another one.